Check. I hate puppies.
It's good podcast.
I feel threatened.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House. I'm glad to have you here. Glad to be back yet another week. That means I did something right this week. Didn't eat the wrong meal.
No.
So far so good. Glad to have you two in the house. Have an interesting crew. You guys already heard Stu's voice, so I think you've pieced together that Stu is here. But we are without Ely, and we are without Troy, which Troy's usually the common denominator in these things. So not here.
We miss him severely.
We'll find out.
We got this.
The listeners may not. But we are joined by a special guest who I don't think we've had. I know we haven't had him this season, and it may have been.
It's been a while.
May have been here last season for a little bit. We've got my dad here. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I think I grossed everybody out with a couple of my stories last time I was here. So, it's good to get another chance. Good to be here.
Started up again.
Yeah, we gave your 1 year probation is over, and we're going to let you back on the air. So hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, I'm on my best behavior.
I'll believe it when I see it.
let's prove it.
Yeah, we'll let the episode play out. So I'm definitely a little tired today. I had a bit of a planes, trains, and automobiles. So we're a day late on the podcast. I was hoping to get in last night, and didn't happen.
Purchased a lot of shower curtain rings.
I did. Purchased a lot of shower curtain rings. I had the unfortunate set of events last night where I was out of town all week for a regional sales meeting and flew out to Charlotte.
Yeah.
And then they decided to cancel my flight on the way back, but didn't let me know until I'd sat in the airport for about 7 hours.
They give you hope every 20 minutes.
Dude,
They say, here we go.
I feel so bad for the schmuck who has to stand behind the counter and just give updates of falsehoods and false hope.
Yeah, it's all lies.
It was
and he knows it.
This poor bastard. I wait till that guy goes away and the maintenance guy is standing there because they haven't been trained properly. Like, they know how to deal with, like, wing issues and electrical issues, but the one thing they're not used to is customer service. So they will accidentally tell you truth.
The plane's lost a tire. It's not getting back up anytime soon.
So as soon as the customer service guy goes away, I kind of just walk over and be like, "Hey, man, how are you?" Like, "Oh, good. What do you want?"
Yeah.
I was wondering what your take was. You think this thing's taking off? Oh, I'm just a maintenance guy. Oh, I know who you are, sir.
You have all the real thing. It's like in planes, trains, and automobiles where John Candy says, "Fact is, we're going to have better luck playing pickup sticks with our butt cheeks than getting out of here."
That's the truth.
That's the kind of truth you get from those guys.
And he gave me, he gave me a glimmer of hope, but unfortunately I knew what he was saying. I was like, oh, the hope I have here is that this plane's never getting off the ground. But at least I knew what it was.
So what time was this?
I got to the airport about 1, and they canceled my flight about 7.
But you did. But then they said, "Oh, it's delayed," and then they just finally canceled it.
Oh yeah, every 30 minutes or so, you'd get the delay. At first they were like, "It's weather," and then the next time I'm talking to them, they're like, "It's mechanical," and I was like, "Oh no!"
And just like the other time, which happened yesterday, the pilot was arrested.
Dude, that Delta pilot who was hammered
didn't pass the sobriety test.
How funny is that?
That's scary, but
I missed that. That just happened.
It just happened this week. A pilot they had boarded the plane, and then they were closing the doors, and they decided, you know what? We should probably check that drunk-ass guy who's at the front of the
Something
plane.
doesn't seem right.
And it turns out, he was thoroughly hammered. So, they took him off the plane.
Well,
that's a good delay.
That's a fair delay. At least I get that. Like, I never have issues with, like, true mechanical issues. They're like, well, the engine's on fire. Yeah. Good. I'm glad you noticed. We'll go ahead and stay here on the ground.
Yeah, the only drunk people should be the first row, not the pilot's chair.
That's exactly right. The first 4 rows, all hammered. The very first at the nose. Let's sober up, people.
Yeah.
So, but I knew I was in trouble. I had a bad feeling because it just kept changing. And this poor guy's up there, and he's like, having to tell everybody, no, it's gonna be okay. It's just 20 more minutes, and I'm like, ooh, this isn't good. And then it got delayed. Like it was the big 2-hour push. Like all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we're delayed another 2 hours. We're going to wait on another plane to come in. Everyone starts pissing and moaning. And then everyone goes up, starts yelling at him. And then every couple minutes he has to do the, okay, everybody, let me put this on this announcement again. Here's everything I know.
Right.
And then everyone's like, no, tell me more. He's like, I literally told you everything. And then he pulled the biggest mistake he made.
Uh-oh.
He said, all right, guys, it's going to be another 2 hours, but I've just been informed that they're bringing sandwiches and drinks for everybody, so the food will be here soon.
Because that makes things so much better.
At least you're going to feed all these hungry assholes. And then about 30 minutes later, he's like, folks, it's canceled.
Oh,
and
man.
The uproar was, where are my sandwiches? What happened to the food?
You lying bastard.
It was so funny. Like, there were just all these degenerates who, like, hadn't gone. Like, I was like, hey, should we go get some real dinner? I don't want an American Airlines sandwich. That sounds horrible.
It's been sitting on the tarmac for the last 2 hours in a plane. Now they just brought it out to you.
It was great how pissed they were. I mean, seriously, the ripple. The food! You said sandwiches!
Yeah.
I wanted a sub! Like,
so when you got the 2-hour delay alert, is that when you started doing the math in your head? Like, okay, I can drive or I can wait.
Actually, I turned to my coworker, and thank God, there's a new guy we just hired, and he was also going to Richmond. And I was like, dude, we should go get a drink. And he's like, maybe not.
Maybe.
Let me finish up these emails. And, like, fortunately, we kept getting caught up with other nonsense, so we didn't get drinks.
Didn't get to the bar.
Which, thank God, because it turns out our only saving grace was that we were sober because there were no flights out. So we rented a car at night to then drive.
I didn't realize I thought you were driving back by yourself.
No, I had a guy that I do not know. And I got to play Spotify Showdown for 6.5 hours with my new friend, you know? Like, we got in the car, and he's like, I hope you like old rock. And I'm like, how old? Like, I like old rock.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like, that's what I was, like, if we were like, in the jungle. I'm like, dude, it's a little too old
That's
for my
old rock.
taste. Yes.
Whim away.
Fortunately, he came in, and he started with, like, some, like, Zeppelin and some Allman Brothers. And I was like, dude, we're going to be fine, bro.
Bearable.
We're going to make it. Like, we're going to do it in our Nissan Sentra.
Oh.
But I did think I was about to have a planes, trains, and automobiles moment because they were like, you can get anything from Section 2. We got out there, not a fucking car in Section 2. Like, literally, not a one. And you could see his blood boil over. And he's like, this is shit. Like, he's so pissed. And I just immediately started planes, trains, and automobiling it. And I don't think he got my reference. But I'm going, a fucking Datsun, a fucking Nissan, a fucking Ford. And I'm doing it. And he's just like, yeah, like anything.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's
what I'm saying, yeah.
So what do you win? Well, anything left of the pencils and further down to the bottom, you just get right in this area, and there's nothing there.
I told him, I was like, look, you see that Nissan Sentra in row 3?
Took it.
They're not going to complain if we opt for a Sentra. Sure enough, they looked at our paperwork and we're like, sure, have the Sentra, losers. Off to
On
the
your way.
races.
Yeah.
See, that's when the airline should kick in. Say, hey, we're not going to wait around. You should take over and pay for my rental car.
We got it squared away. I just said reimburse our money.
Oh,
and then we'll just get the rental car. I don't want to deal with the headache of whatever's to come. It's just like, give me my money back.
So what time? This was like 7 o'clock?
7:30, we got on the road from Charlotte.
And you got back
Richmond.
at 1?
Yeah, I got back at 1 and then couldn't get to sleep till like 2 because you have to unpack and do all that shit. So I'm a little strung out, I won't lie.
Yeah.
A little bit tired.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's bad when it's like 11 and you're having another coffee.
That's not good.
Not a
Oh,
good
yeah,
sign.
yeah.
That'll get you the jitters all day long.
But I was pleasantly surprised. My man had good taste in music. I turned him on to some new stuff. I think I can go so far as to say we're friends. I was pretty happy with
So
it.
he's just new guy, though.
Yeah, new guy. We didn't know each other at all. And I'm like, hey, buddy, you want to sit in a car for 6.5 hours?
Let's get to know each other.
Get to know me.
Yeah, this is going to go great.
Yeah. About 2 hours in, I put my hand on his thigh. Did not go the way I intended.
So wait,
No, I'm
so
just kidding.
so my question though is, he's a new guy, but are you his boss?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. But I can help him.
Right.
Like, I'm in a different role. But yeah, he was fine. It was a good time. Like I said, good taste in music. Thank God.
That's-
It could have gone south.
Did you get one of those rental car people that are like, it's their main thing in life is just to like detail the car out and say, look,
No.
you got to protect everything. You need to do this.
We
you need to
had
do that.
we had a gentleman in a dress by the name of Samantha
Oh, great.
who had just had his Adam's apple removed, and I was thinking to myself,
No.
Yeah.
that scar, like I'd almost rather just work with the Adam's apple. I had never really thought about that, but that was clearly the stage of transition.
Yeah.
This
Oh man.
this
That's-
girl was in. I guess
Yeah,
that's where he's
whatever.
headed. Yeah. And so it had this giant Adam's apple scar, and it just looked like it had his throat slit.
You're
man.
just like, here, have a scarf.
I mean, I just hope that does that go away? I mean,
Probably not a scar.
it looked pretty
rough?
substantial. Yeah, like they took it out with a weed whacker.
What do they take
Ouch.
out when they take out your Adam's apple? Isn't your larynx in there or something? I mean,
I don't know. Well, I was hoping maybe you would. I have no idea.
well,
Like,
I'm not.
shave-
No,
You haven't
shave
had that
something
surgery?
down.
no, I'm not there yet.
Not there yet. 3 more months.
Well, you got to fix that voice first. You're
Yeah,
not
I
fooling
know.
anybody, young lady.
She sounds great.
Oh, man, she's hot. Oh, hi.
What is it? Is that 12 packs a day?
Exactly.
What are you smoking?
Yeah, but so I didn't get someone who was all into the car. It was like, and
Oh,
obviously
they're the-
she was the supervisor.
So I've had that time where I'm at the airport trying to get the rental car, get out of there, and the guy wants to be super detailed and just walks around the car, every single thing, and I'm like, just give me the keys.
Yeah.
I don't care if the car's not going to fall apart. And he's, looking at every single dent and ding and telling me, do you know how to fill it up? Can you put it in park? Do you know where the hazards are? I was like, I'm 40 freaking years old. You don't think I know where the hazards are? Been driving for a while. Guys, they got to be in control of something. It's like, get those people that that's all they want to do.
Well, this gal was in control of every aspect of her life.
Of her
because
life.
he had decided, nope, don't want this. Would rather upgrade to
There's that.
those. Is going to take this off. Like, control was not something this person
Peace.
was lacking.
That's crazy.
No doubt about that.
So,
Hey, got that Sentra though.
Nissan Sentra.
I didn't even
Those
know
are-
they still made those.
That's I had the Stanza. I had the Nissan Stanza, not the Sentra.
Is that a step down from the Sentra?
They don't. Yeah. Well, no. I think it was an older car.
No,
it's the one
we knew that, Stu. As soon as you
it
said
was-
I had, we were like, this sounds like an old story.
Yeah, that was my Monte Carlo was stuck in reverse, and the Stanza had a donut on it. So I was living the dream with the automobiles in the car for a while. But yeah, it was a tough little car, big 4-door sedan, or not mid-sized 4-door sedan.
You guys were just over here looking at what I find to be one of the more interesting vehicles around, the Slingshot. Like,
Yeah.
What the hell is a Slingshot? I know. So for those that don't know, I'll describe it as best I can. It's that futuristic looking vehicle that has 2 wheels in the front and 1 wheel in the back. So it's basically a trike.
It's all motorcycle in the back and all Batman in the front.
That's probably a pretty good way to explain it. It very much looks like the Batmobile.
And it's made by Polaris, people who started out in snowmobiles, and then
And then jet skis.
they made a motorcycle. I don't know if
Yeah.
they still do.
They actually made a motorcycle at
Yeah.
one time.
Polaris motorcycles?
Yeah, well, they didn't
No.
call it a Polaris. The company made it. They might have made the Victory. I could be wrong.
Okay. Now Victory, that's an American
Yeah,
brand.
that's an American motorcycle.
Is Polaris an American company, or they just happen to
Well,
put?
I think they were. Yeah, I think so. They were one of the first snowmobile makers. I think they're American. But anyhow, they're not back to the Slingshot. We're just looking at them on the monitor right now, and that's a wild looking vehicle.
Oh, it's badass. Now they have one now that looks like it has a roof on it. So are they getting
Yeah,
away
windshields.
from motorcycle here?
I did see a thing on television about these things where the customization is like starting to really take off. People are
They're tricking
just,
these
yeah,
out.
just any from paint schemes to flares, fenders, all that stuff. So that's what it's really boiled down to. But I mean, you're definitely getting this for style and the feel of the road, because there's no room for anything in this, and you're paying $30,000.
It's a 2-seater. So all right, now, Dad, you're a motorcycle driver all your life. You've had motorcycles.
Yeah.
Is this a motorcycle?
If it doesn't lean, I don't think of it as a motorcycle.
So they've designed it to actually, when you turn,
If it does lean,
the cockpit
then
itself, like the tires themselves, lean when you turn. So
I don't think that's this one.
it's not that one.
That's what's the other one? There's another one that's similar to this.
Oh, I have no idea. 'Cause I don't know what the hell these things are. All right, do you consider those people who buy Harleys and they keep the front end one wheel and they put the 2 in the back, like the old school trike? Is that a motorcycle?
it's more like a throwback to the old 3-wheel Morgan and some of those other strange cars that were made a long time ago with 3 wheels. I mean, I've never driven one, but as I said, if you can't lean it, it doesn't feel like a motorcycle. Like when I've driven those 4-wheelers around.
Yeah.
Off road.
Yeah.
Never feels like a motorcycle to me. It's something different. I mean, they're very cool, but
They're a ton of fun, but I
Yeah.
have a hard time. People who have these slingshots all compare them to. They're like, oh yeah, it's like my motorcycle, and I just, I don't know that I can agree with them that it's a motorcycle.
yeah, I'd have to drive one.
Yeah, so this is the Can-Am Spider Riker. That's the other 3-wheeled, but that's more motorcycle. That's the
that
one
looks
that
lame,
leans.
but it's $10,000 less.
Yeah, this is more bike from Can-Am.
So that is a single seater,
right. This is 3-wheeled.
and I noticed that it also has handlebars instead of a steering wheel. That's the other thing that turns me off about the slingshot, is that it's got a steering wheel. I mean, that just doesn't feel like a motorcycle to me.
Well, it's more honest, really, because, like I said, I don't think of it as a motorcycle, and I think if I had a steering wheel on it, it would feel more like a car, which is essentially what I think it is. A really wacky car,
Yeah.
wide open, and it's, a 2.4-liter engine? That's a lot of power for, I mean, I don't know what that weighs, but probably let's see.
It doesn't. It weighs 1,700 pounds.
1,749 pounds. That's more than I thought.
173 horsepower.
173 horsepower. Holy shnikes. Okay, so that thing flies.
That's
That'll
more
move.
than.
That'll move.
That's almost as much as the Miata.
Yeah.
Almost. And that has 4 wheels and weighs less.
Yeah, this is definitely the car that you're going to put your Batman cape on and go out.
All right, so I think.
If it's a car, if you call it that.
do you consider it a car or a motorcycle, Stu?
I call it a car because you know what it makes me think of is what's the open air, the dune buggies.
Yeah.
That's a 4-wheel, but this is a 3-wheel with the same. You got the frame. You don't need a helmet. You don't need a helmet.
You don't need a helmet in a slingshot?
No, and it said it's very state by state.
Yeah,
'Cause there's
this is just
It's got roll bars. I see that.
So it's a really bad choice of a car then.
Yeah, yeah,
Like a deer will kill you.
yeah. I mean, this is.
I don't know. The people who have them all swear that they're motorcycles, or at least give you that motorcycle feeling.
I don't know. You get the open road feel, but you're definitely not tempting fate by riding a motorcycle like you could.
You're still tempting fate. Honest to God, if you hit anything, you're going to die. So I do think it's got a certain amount of motorcycle vibe to it. If death is a precursor to it being a motorcycle.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's more visible. If you look at that thing, it's got 2 headlights on it, and it's wide enough across the front, so people are going to see you coming at an intersection much more than they do with the motorcycle. Also, unlike a motorcycle, you've got those roll bars behind the seats, so there's a lot more protection there than I think any motorcycle is going to give you.
We should go test drive these things.
I don't know where we could find one.
The Slingshot dealership.
Yeah.
I would assume. Well, didn't we say, is this not Polaris?
No, this Slingshot's Polaris, and then there's the Can-Am, which is more motorcycle.
Well, then you can get them at any one of these, any place that sells jet skis.
True.
Which a jet ski is basically a water motorcycle.
Yeah.
I'll give it that.
True. I think
you can lean that. I've leaned them right on over.
Oh, a jet ski does feel like a a motorcycle.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ever since they went to sit down. Now the stand-up ones, I don't know what the hell that was, but they're definitely cool.
Yeah, the ones with the neck. The old school ones.
Yeah, you stand up, it comes up, cruise around.
Those things aren't as easy as they look, though.
Yeah, I don't understand why they got rid of them, though, because those are the only ones you can do, like, real tricks and, like, jump off waves and do loops and shit.
Oh, I think I remember something about the those old school ones. The engine was the way just the way the engine ran. It was dumping too much leftover gasoline or oil or like exhaust into the water. Not the exhaust, but like it wasn't as clean. And
so
then
that's why they got rid of it?
Yeah, or then they went to the newer style. They changed up the engine. I mean, I don't know if that's exactly why, but I mean.
You would think they could have cleaned that up by now. Because you see those stand-up jet skis, people go out of their way to find those now, and then they rebuild them, and they charge a mint for them. And I don't know if that's only because they're so hard to find.
You just can't get them anymore?
Yeah, they don't. I don't think they sell them or make them anymore.
I don't know.
Which is crazy. This is why we have Stu now. So Stu is now our resident producer, looker-upper, internet guy.
I know. He's standing here Googling stuff as we talk.
It's amazing.
Very nice.
I mean, that's what he does. It's not bad.
I don't know.
Yeah, see, these are old school. No one is selling them.
Yeah.
That's true.
They're just selling aftermarket crap for them.
Well, $250 for one?
No, that's
the kicker. Never mind.
Kit,
that's the kit.
Yeah, unfortunately, Stu's not great at
I'm just looking at everything.
He's like, oh man, they're $250. Let's buy them by the gross.
How many wants? Who all wants one?
I do want to get my hands on one of those Can-Ams though, or the slingshot. I just want to try it. I want to drive it and see what the heck's really going on.
Well, I mean, it's just like it's not just like your Miata, but I mean, it's going to be more open and just faster.
Can't be faster.
It's got to be faster.
It's got to be. I'll give you that. It's got to be faster.
Have you seen your shifting skills lately?
Oh, dude, if I keep shifting the way I'm shifting, second gear's going to explode. I'm really good at first, jam it into second. I hear this god-awful sound, and go to third. I'm kind of...
This is coming from the guy who pulled up the other day and said, Stu, is my right rear tire flat?
It was.
It was. Yeah, you need put some air in that.
Well, then I went ahead and filled it up and did a donut.
Did a donut out of there. Almost lost it.
Yeah, well, that's because it's badass.
The air costs more than the car does.
That's not funny, Stu. I don't fill the tires with helium, which is in short supply. Party City's fucked.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Helium's running out.
Helium is actually, it's like a finite resource, and we can't make it. You have to get it from the earth or something. And they're running low. There's like a helium shortage, and it's starting to jack up prices at Party City. And now they're talking about they may have to shut stores or something. I'm like, this is hilarious. It's a helium shortage.
You could fill them with hydrogen, which is more fun because it's highly flammable.
Oh,
okay. I like this.
Boom. Like the Hindenburg, It's
good.
Full of hydrogen. That was.
Let's light some candles.
What
every
happened.
year it gets 1 degree more sketchy. 5 candles, 6 candles, 7 and
Push it.
7.
Push it the
7
envelope.
was the limit. Does hydrogen float though? Yeah, obviously, yeah. If it was in the Hindenburg, it floats for a certain amount of time.
Mm.
And is hydrogen in short supply? Maybe this is Party City.
No. You can make hydrogen out of water, right? With electrolysis, whatever the hell it is. It's not called that exactly, but
okay.
We can
some type of hair removal.
Unlike helium, yeah, it's not electrolysis. That's where you pull the little hairs out of your face. But it's a similar chemical process to pulling hair out of your face.
Yes, that adds up. It sounds.
But it produces hydrogen.
Okay,
it's the only difference in the two processes.
This sounds right. I think I'm willing to just believe that this is fact. We're gonna go with that. This is how you fill up the Hindenburg. There's a bunch of people shaving. Eventually, it took off and blew up.
Yeah. What is it? A dirigible. That's what they call them. A dirigible.
Dirigible?
Yeah, that's the technical term for a blimp.
For dangerous?
Oh, yeah, on fire.
Oh, the humanity.
The humanity. Yeah.
Well, we need to do that. We need to get Party City to get some hydrogen.
Because that's more fun anyhow, because it blows up.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Let's go for it. I don't know. Yeah, how much is the helium tank now? I mean, because we use them. We go through, for work, for open houses. We got the big tanks.
Better start selling some bigger houses, because that is a finite supply.
Well, it says it comes from just decaying uranium in the ground.
Shut the really decaying uranium. This is real. It is real. Okay. Decaying atom bond, lose electrons underground, producing helium. Okay. So they just need to go mine Chernobyl.
Right.
Go out to Pripyat and
So
start pulling some of this shit out of the ground.
based on the math, we're probably another 200 years before it's ready.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a way we could speed it up.
up.
The Russians seem to be good at that. Isn't that what kind of caused Chernobyl? Speeding things
Man.
up.
Talk about a lack of OSHA.
Lack of OSHA. Yes. OSHA sounds like a Russian word.
Yeah.
OSHA.
So,
So-
Dad, you had the opportunity just this past week. You got to go to your high school reunion. What year high school reunion was this?
Well, it was my 55th, and I've never been to one before.
Wow.
So I'm
You've
catching up with people I
never
haven't
gone?
seen in over half a century, which is pretty strange. Because, when you see people after 55 years and you don't know what's been going on, I mean, what do you say? What are you doing? Or how was your life? Did it suck? Did you have some fun? No point complaining. I
Right.
mean, it's over. It's over. We had 550 people in our class. 102 of them are dead. So you've got to get to these things, There's not a lot of time to
Oh shit!
screw around, But it's
So
it's
20%
in
of
this,
your class is gone.
Geez, when you put it that way, yeah.
Just
one
running
in,
numbers.
1 in 5.
Yeah, just running numbers. Just running numbers.
Running numbers. You're the numbers guy. Yeah, well, we lost 2 in Vietnam, so they went early. And then we lost a few along the way. But, now they're starting to drop like flies. So
How many people showed up?
had to get up there. Oh, there might have been 75 people, I mean, a lot of people have left. All the people who had anything going on, they all left. Those who were left behind. I mean, Syracuse, it's this town way upstate. It was about 6 hours from New York City back in the day on a thruway. And it's one of these old industrial towns that used to have industry, but now it's pretty much dead.
Right.
So it used to be kind of prosperous because, Carrier made their air conditioners there. GE had a couple of plants. My dad's company, SCM, made typewriters. They had 4 factories in the area.
I'm sure that business is booming.
Yeah, that's going great. Damn typewriters, yeah.
There's some listeners out there who say, what's a typewriter?
Well, you can definitely you can get them on eBay, and they're still going strong. They're great old machines, but all that industry's gone. So the town is about 150,000 people, basically a dead town. It's in a pretty part of the country, but it's a dead town, and it's colder than a well digger's ass about 9 months out of the year, and it's just, we get lake effect snow coming off Lake Ontario, and it was, I thought that was normal growing up. I thought that kind of, climate was normal.
Well, it is if you live in a shithole like Syracuse.
Yeah, if you live.
I've only been up there one time, and that was like for basketball camp. Went to Syracuse U.
Well, we went up there once when I was a kid. We went to Ithaca. We got to Syracuse.
We went to the Adirondacks.
Yeah, well,
Took you up there.
I recall specifically we went to Cornell at one point, and I remember we were crossing a bridge, and I wonder how much of this story you remember, because this is fucking vivid in my 8-year-old mind.
You never know.
We came walking across a bridge in Ithaca at Cornell, and there's the rocks down below and the river and a bunch of like college kids out there like hanging out, and I remember one of the girls stood up and she was topless, and I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to Cornell.
Gotta go.
Like, this is it. And
Well, that is the kind of thing you noticed. I mean,
do you not recall that?
yes, I absolutely do
Okay,
recall
because
that.
it's a transformative moment it was the first time in my life I ever thought, hey, you know what's all right? College. I should go to college, because the girls here have spent all their money on tuition. They can't afford bras
Can't
or
afford-
shirts.
They can't afford clothes. I mean, basically, they have little bottoms, but nothing on top. So
Yeah, you had to make ends meet.
that was
Tuition's
your
expensive.
kind of school. Well, you were always, I remember when you were very young, very little guy. This Brazilian bombshell Charo,
I do very well.
Remember her?
and you were sitting there. I don't know how old you were, but you were pretty small, and you were sitting in front of the TV, and Charo's up there like bouncing around doing her jiggly thing that she did.
Sounds great.
Yeah, and
I'm already interested.
And I said, I said, Brendan, what's going on? You were like transfixed. And he said, I like that woman.
That sounds
That's
right.
good stuff.
I still
So-
do.
So you still, I still love Charo. So, yeah, I can understand that. Well, Syracuse is up there about a 40-minute drive north of Ithaca.
Oh, colder. Good.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's even colder. But like I said, it's kind of a dead place. And some of the class, out of the 550, some of them went away and did non-Syracuse things. Like one guy became a doctor and then an astronaut. So he was a physician astronaut.
Oh, so he's kind of the badass at the reunion,
Yeah.
walking around.
Well, he didn't show up, you know. 'cause
He's-
and
he's
other
busy.
places to be.
and his wife was a physician astronaut.
What the
One
hell?
and Sue Gear, I had a crush on Sue Gear. She was Richard Gere's sister, the actor Richard Gere.
Yeah.
Gere was a few classes behind
Okay.
behind me, and I thought he was really annoying because I remember I went over to Sue Gere's house one time. Like, she invited me. This is when we were really little.
You guys have a lot of gerbils here.
Kind of a,
Oh, no.
it was kind of a
I was waiting for it.
Someone had to go.
Wait,
it was
for
kind
it.
of a play date, and I sort of wanted to hang out with Sue, and there was this little kid running around. That was Richard Gere. He was annoying. No, they didn't have a lot of rodents, but
A few.
I don't think.
Not that you could see.
I think a gerbil might have been a little on the plump side for him at the time. He was just
He's just a little, just a little boy running around.
maybe a mouse,
Yeah.
maybe a little
That's too
mouse.
funny.
But most people, a lot of
Wrong
people,
button.
Trying to find.
a lot of people had gotten out of Syracuse, and some of the ones that stayed behind. I mean, the first night they had a thing at an Italian restaurant, and all they'd done was, they called it a cookout or something, but there wasn't any food I could see. And they had these
Not much of a cookout.
they had these umbrellas and tables set up, and you'd go inside, you'd get a drink, you'd come back out. And I drove up with a buddy of mine who works in D.C., and we were just walking up to the place, and I said, damn, is that our group? Because those are some massive, bad-looking people. I mean, they were huge. So I think the people who stayed behind. The second night, we were at this country club. They called it Yacht Club. And the same
So you're
people
on the
were
water.
there. Yeah, we were on the water.
That's nice.
Oneida Lake. And, we had the same crowd pretty much show up.
So that's when you knew, okay, this is my graduating class.
I knew that for sure.
Okay, it's official.
And they had a bartender, they had a cash bar, and they had a buffet with all this heavy food, And the bartender, it was like he was lonely except when I came up. But
Everyone else
everybody's-
at the buffet.
they were
Everybody's at
wolfing
the
down this food, these huge damn people.
You got to stay warm upstate New York.
And some of them I'd known, they were skinny. We were all skinny. This was before
Yeah.
people got enormous, Before that was the norm. So I'd meet somebody I'd known who was skinny, and the guy was, and I had my camera with me because I'm always taking photos. One guy rode up on a big custom bike. It wasn't even it was all custom stuff. I mean, it was basically a Harley layout, but it was an S&S 104 cubic inch engine and all this stuff.
Oh, God. Nice.
That's big.
But when I took a picture of the guy, I had to crop it. I had to Photoshop it to get his gut, it came up.
Really?
I mean, I would
Yeah.
have been embarrassed if I were the guy, if I saw that on the Facebook
Right.
page for the class. I mean, I had, and there was a lot of that. I mean, just huge people.
Trimmed him up a little bit.
Yes, you officially came back and you were like, "Hun, I don't need to diet. You should see the
You
rest
should
of
have
the
seen
world."
these guys,
Yes.
Should have seen these people.
I've seen the other side.
I'm the rock star of the group.
I mean, the winters go on for like 10 months, and all they do is sit around and eat, obviously. I was surprised. I mean, the bartender, I got to be his buddy because I had 3 scotches, and I went over there, and that was heavy traffic for him.
Did you go to yours? Have you been to any of your high school reunions?
I haven't been to any of my high school reunions. I actually tried to go to one a few years ago,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to go. Like, I just knew I didn't want to go, and my buddy Bill had convinced me. He was like, "Come on up, we'll go together." And I was like, "All right, I'll do it."
Yeah.
And I started driving up there, and as soon as I got on 95, that shit just stopped.
Oh, no.
And I sat in traffic, and at about the 4-hour mark, I was in Fredericksburg, and I'm just like, this is unbelievable. And I'd been itching for an excuse any damn way not to go.
Not to
Right.
go, so you turned around?
Yeah, finally I'm talking to Bill, and he's like, "Well, man, I guess, all right, we're going to go to the pre-party. Why don't you just meet us there?" And, like, I had a whole plan. I was going to park at his house. We were going to Uber out there. I was going to spend the
Yeah.
night. And it just all started adding up. And then, like, he's like, all right, well, look, we're leaving the pre-party. We'll go there. Just meet us there. And I'm still in Fredericksburg, and I'm just looking ahead at the traffic.
Yeah.
And I finally just said, I don't even want to be here. I'm going to show up late as can be. So I just turned around, went home. I went over to Troy's house.
Give it 55 years. It's a lot more interesting when you show up after 55 years.
I went to
some changes.
I went to my 10 and I went to my 20.
Okay.
So 10-year was that was quite fun actually because
he's drinking all the delis over here.
That's what I was laughing at.
I'm just sitting here, I'm like,
what are we going to try?
Delis. So just cracking delis over there.
It's all good. But yeah, no, it was so cell phones cell phones were there, but this was 2001, 2002. The first 10-year reunion, and 200 some odd people out of 400 of my class showed up. Everybody caught up. It was a good time. You hadn't seen people. You didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So we talked, we caught up, all this other stuff. Fast forward another 10 years, and Facebook happens.
Now you don't need to go.
And I go to the reunion, and there's 100 people, if that. And this crazy thing is the people that I hadn't seen in 20 years that did show up, I was like, I haven't seen you in 20 years, but, I know you got drunk and hammered the other night, and you posted all about it on Facebook. So it was like you really didn't have anything to talk about if you were paying attention.
Well, you probably had plenty to talk about at yours, right? I mean, you hadn't seen these people in 55 years. I'm sure you.
No, it was a long time. They had a nice band, and they started out with a Van Morrison song.
It's a good start.
But these guys were also from our high school. And one guy was so huge, he had a Stratocaster, and he used his gut like a shelf. Like he didn't need a
I
guitar
can respect
strap.
that.
Just sitting
He just put the thing on the shelf. Yeah, but
See, he can write off his gut.
This is the bandstand.
As a shelf. Yeah, I had it in my head, there was a girl I was sweet on, like in the 10th grade.
I tread lightly.
I know. Your mom knows this whole story. She's, she knows not to.
Still got it.
Don't worry, Brendan. She's still your mom.
She's not too worried. Not too worried.
You can't change that part.
But Donna, Donna Hosey, I had a big crush on her. So I caught up with her on the Facebook page. She still lives in the area. And I said, hey, Donna, remember how we used to joke around in French class and how we went to a movie with the history class and we ditched the bus that was coming home and we walked around Syracuse. And
I've actually heard this story.
Yeah, she remembered
okay.
all that. She remembered all that. But, I was sweet on her. But in those days, like 1962, nobody was having sex. There were like 2 kids in the class who had sex.
At least
and
not with condoms.
Everybody knew who they were. This was
way
before.
overrated.
This was before the pill, and all that. So you'd have a crush on a girl, and for a long time, absolutely nothing would happen.
Yeah,
which is what happened here. And
you dog, you.
So I caught up with her, and we sat down. We had a beer. She looked okay for a 73-year-old lady. She was fine. She's married. She has kids. She has grandkids. And I said, well, boy, it's been a long time since I had that big crush on you back in French class,
Smooth.
Yeah, that's a great open liner.
And she says, you did? Did you really? I said, yeah, I had a crush on you, and what the hell? She said, I didn't know that. She said, I liked you. I liked you a lot. But I didn't know you had a crush on me. So I said, well, so much for my communication skills, But she says, I just remember that you used to help me with my homework a lot, And I said, well, why do you think I did that?
Because you cared about her
yes.
education.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We're going to Cornell.
Did you see?
Yes. I want to see them titties.
Did you see me? Did you see me helping any guys? And we actually this was actually sort of a dialogue. And then she says, well, and you used to call me and we'd talk on the phone at night for a long time. And I said, well, did I talk about fashions? She says, no. Did I talk about Broadway plays? No. So I wasn't gay, was I?
Yeah.
So why would I be talking to a girl on the phone if I didn't, have a thing for her? This is like Life 101, She apparently didn't get it.
They still don't.
They still don't, But she was impressed enough, I guess, that she asked me if we could meet for breakfast the next day.
Well.
So
Fast forward 55 years, and it's
I would
breakfast.
have. Yeah, this is awkward for me at the moment.
Well, my friend,
any other guest, I'd be like, "So you woke up next door and made pancakes?" And I'm like, "You didn't go, did you?"
No. Well, my friend Charlie Williams and I, we went back to our suite at the hotel, and then Charlie and I went to meet her at a diner, and we had
brought a wingman. Smart.
3 of us together. Just had, we had breakfast.
Something tells me she's not telling this story on a podcast right now.
No, she probably not.
She's going to keep it to herself. No.
Yeah. That's Syracuse, that area. I don't know, man. I don't know why people, I know why people live there or people are there, but it's so.
It used to be there was a lot of employment, so that's a reason. And if you don't have employment, there's no reason to live in a place like that. Oh, I also had a little trouble. I told you this story, trying to get to the yacht club.
Yeah, so the yacht club. Now, this yacht club was like 10 miles from your house growing up.
Yeah, I never knew it was there because I didn't run in those circles.
Very different circumstances.
Apparently, there was a class of people who belonged to this yacht club I never heard of on this little lake. So they had this second night event at this yacht club. So it was a yacht club, and then it was also supposed to be a country club. So I guess it had a golf course, as I found out. So I'm driving out there with my friend Charlie.
Well, you got GPS, right?
Well, that's the problem. Yeah, because I do what GPS tells me. It's a woman's voice, after all. So
that's
I do what it says. So we're driving out there.
Do my homework
now.
Do my homework.
Yeah, that's the GPS.
So this is perfect
Sad,
then.
really.
So you just have to get from the hotel to the yacht club. You've got GPS. I feel like
I was pretty much set.
You're set.
But they said, and we were driving along, and the lake was on our left. I could see that. Then we came to the road. GPS said turn right, and we went down this road.
So you turned right.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah. I don't see the issue here.
Not yet. Not yet. So we drove maybe a couple hundred yards, and GPS says, arrived at your destination. So I hit the brakes. So
quite literal.
Yeah, I hit the brakes.
Then we were hit from behind.
No, we were the only ones out there. So on the right, there was a huge maintenance shed, I guess, for the golf course. And on the left, there was this little road. So I said, boy, that's the worst-looking approach to a country club I ever saw, that dipshit little road. So we took a left, and we went up the road. And actually, we went a good distance. I didn't tell you all this, but we went a good distance. And I kept thinking, I don't see a clubhouse or anything up here, And then we came to an intersection where it crossed with another little road. And I said, I think I see the clubhouse. Looking to my left,
Yeah.
It actually turned out to be an apartment complex. So we took the left turn. Well, finally we noticed that there was like a sand trap over here.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
So you came in the back entrance of the golf course?
No, we were on the golf cart.
You're on the golf cart.
You were on the golf coming through.
We were on the golf cart path the whole damn time. So I was
didn't
trying
tip you off when you go past a sand trap, and then the grass is super short, and then it's longer.
He's saying little road. I'm thinking like, okay, there's no yellow line.
That's what it looked like to
but
me.
a golf cart path that's a small road.
So turn right. He's like, good God. This golf course,
this GPS has got the shortcut
this
to
yacht
the club.
is pretty low maintenance over here. This is low rent shit. Look at this road.
And then I needed to turn around. We figured it out finally
on the golf course
because of the sand trap and all.
So you're the Rodney Dangerfield of the
so
yacht
you
club.
just
sort of.
drove around the golf course in a car.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love this.
I can see it.
Well, we got back out to the road, and then I thought, well, you know what? Got to ignore the GPS because it's supposed to be it's a yacht club, and there's the lakes over there.
So then you took the car out on the lake.
No, we didn't hit the lake. No, not really. But it's a funny, it's a small lake. It's not one of the Great Lakes. Those are a little to the north. It's not one of the Finger Lakes. Those are about 40 miles to the south. Just a little lake. And the yacht club is just, some power boats in there, some fishing skiffs, some
couple golf carts.
Those are the yachts, yeah.
So what was bringing you to the club?
Well, that's where our alumni association had the
that's where
dinner.
the event. Okay.
That's where they had the huge buffet, and
this was the first time you'd ever been to the club.
Yeah, and it was about 10 miles from my house growing up. It just shows you I didn't move in those circles.
You didn't get out too much.
No, I didn't get out.
There's the yachts and then there's the motorcycles.
Yeah, and then there's the guy driving around in a Saab on a golf course, and that was kind of where he hung.
That's right.
He was right about there. You know?
somewhere in the middle
on the
somewhere
little tiny roads.
No, I was just like, it's so, oh man, it gets so cold up there. I mean, even when I was in Chicago, I'm thinking,
oh yeah,
I mean, it's 6 months, maybe 4 months out of the year, it's good, but the rest of the time,
yeah, I lived there
just
too. Yeah,
cold. Yeah. Well, I think we know Brendan's from Chicago, but he may or may not claim it.
Brendan's over discovering that I drank all his beer or something.
Yeah,
but Chicago and Syracuse are very similar. They're both way up there.
Do you still have beer in that can?
He does.
Hey, hold for a second. You've drank all the delis.
There wasn't a sign.
Oh, okay. Well, this is my last one.
Well, no, it's your first
Technically,
one.
Oh, I see.
We're going to try out a new beer every episode.
We're doing a beer tasting. We're doing the deli, and
oh, I see.
We had plenty of beers, and now we're just enough to do the tasting.
Oh,
so let's see.
So where did you get these from, Brendan? Where did you pick up these? This is IPA?
Yeah. So check this. We actually have an update on our mystery man, but I can't. I can't go down that road today.
We need a full party for that story
because I want to have Troy and Ely present, but I have heard from Boo Boo Mysterio. Now, the beers I have in front of me today are not Boo Boo Mysterio's beers. These are actually brought by Jason Jones, and we'll cover off on that story next week. And
it'll be interesting.
More intrigued than ever, but I want to save it for when they're here. So, Boo Boo, if you're listening,
it's a nice handwritten note.
I've heard from you. I got it, and we'll discuss. But today we have Jason Jones brought this. And he has brought us some beers from north of here or from south of here down at Wicked Weed, which we've done some of their beers before, and I've had some very good beers from there, and I've had some not so great beers from theirs. But he came over here the other day, and I actually felt horrible. This dude, he shows up. Last week, we recorded an episode after I had been gone on vacation for 8 days, and I drank for 8 days straight. And I came back and couldn't possibly have another beer because that 8th day, I came back. As soon as we got back, we did the podcast that night, so I could have a couple days to kind of just dry out. And I had forgotten that I told Jason we would be here on Sunday to record an episode and that he should come by around 3 o'clock because that was the time we were going to do the show. So lo and behold, my phone rings at about 2:30, and it's Jason, and he's like, "I've got the deli for you guys. I'm on my way over." And I'm like, "Oh shit! Nobody's here. I'm not drinking. We stayed up all last night doing a podcast." And I was like, "I wish I had a better excuse, but I just fucked it up."
Yeah.
So,
not Jason, really. You saved your liver.
Jason came by. He dropped off the beer. Said, "Please do this deli." And I was like, well, let's have a couple drinks. And I put a 6-pack of seltzer waters out here. And I kept just sticking them in the koozie and cracking them.
Oh, yeah.
And just drinking seltzer water while he slowly got drunk. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to go. But Jason, thank you for these beers. I have not had a chance to try them yet. It's the Wicked Weed Appalachia Session IPA.
Yeah, I like it. I'm on my second.
Tear down that fourth wall.
Yeah. So
I'm on my second.
The can is right off the bat just psychedelic.
That's a topographic map, Stu.
I understand that.
Okay.
But I'm just saying the colors.
I didn't get that. That's very good.
Yeah, it's a topographic map that has been done in highlighter.
Yeah.
It's pretty bright.
It's like, the purples, golds.
Well, Dad, you've had all of them. So why don't you give us your anything that you taste, anything you like about it, dislike, 5 being the highest score, 1 being the lowest, 0 being the lowest. Yeah. What anything you like about this beer, dislike, and what would you rate it?
And it's 4.7 on the alcohol. It's not like a
4.7 then. Well, I'd give it about a 4.5, and it's a nice strong IPA. It almost tastes like a nut ale, like an English nut ale.
Okay, so a little malty.
Well, a little malty, yeah.
Okay.
Little nutty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice robust taste. Yeah,
It's actually
I like it.
It's not bad.
Really? So, wow.
Okay. That's the first sip.
I mean, look, the first score out of the box is a 4.5, so I know Jason is cautiously optimistic at this point because he's thinking he might have a winner on his hands because that qualifies at 4.5. Now, keep in mind, he's had all of them.
Yeah.
His taste buds have
Simmer.
adjusted to whatever this is doing in my mouth.
So I'm trying to read the description on this, and there's something that I have no clue what it is. It's the Motueka, Motueka.
Well, this is why we don't have you read on the
Yeah,
air.
I'm not. That's a first word for me. What is that?
I don't know.
Citra, mosaic hops.
I wouldn't have brought it up.
I'm
If I
just
see
trying
it-
to read the description because I'm trying to. This is actually pretty good.
You're supposed to formulate your own opinion,
I am,
and
but I'm
Go
trying
from
to
there.
gain all the information I can to formulate an opinion.
Well, it's from Asheville, North Carolina. I
Yep.
got that much.
there you go. And
Yeah.
Asheville is that is the beer town.
It's
I mean, there's no two ways about it. More craft breweries there than anywhere else per capita. So it's
I'd
fairly
actually-
insane.
Very good.
Asheville is like the craft beer world to like podcasts. Everyone's got a podcast, and everyone in Asheville has their own
Yeah.
brewery. It's interesting.
believe it or not, based on just in general, I'd say it's a 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, I give it because it's
These are
it's
all
not as strong as it's not as strong as some of the IPAs. I think it goes down a little bit easier.
I think so. And a testament to that would be to your right and my left. They've gone down very easily for you.
Very easily for me, yeah. And
Smooth.
the scoring, the only 5 is a Guinness.
Correct. In my mind, I often say
Yeah,
that.
the only 5 is a Guinness. So we're comparing. Nobody's going to hit that mark
I
other
concur.
than Guinness. So
Yeah.
so I'd
It's
say
funny because I
So-
say that all the time. I'm like, well, it's not a Guinness, so I can't get it a 5. So
Guinness is just it's its own thing. There's no getting around it.
I couldn't agree with you more. But you gave this a 3.5.
Yeah, give it a 3.5.
You gave it a 4.5. I tend to agree with one of the things you said, Stu. It is very easy drinking. I mean, this thing goes down fast. Now, for a session IPA, it's not like wussified.
Right.
It's still very much an IPA.
Mm.
Like this has
yeah.
You can definitely tell that.
all the flavors. It's got it all going on. It's got the Citra hop, which is probably my favorite one, but I'm guessing
That's-
it doesn't have any Cascade hops. It's like whatever that weird ass hop you had there. The
Yeah, go for it.
Matoka?
Motueka?
It's actually pretty approachable. I like it. I like that it's 4.7% alcohol, so I can have a handful of them and not end up like someone at a 55th reunion.
Yeah, lost on a golf course.
Hey, I was sober when I did that.
Oh, be proud, my man.
There you go.
Be proud.
Oh,
I didn't drink and drive. No, I was at the top of my game.
That's right. You were
There you
there
go.
for the buffet. Then you saw the line. Decided to have a scotch.
these people have been here way too long.
But
Yeah.
I was sober as a judge on that golf course.
That's good.
But I was
Mm.
listening to the GPS.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
don't do that.
So
I think I'm with you, Stu. It's a 3.5 for me.
I'm giving the half for the marketing,
Of course you are.
just because that's a great can.
I think it's a really approachable session IPA. Really good. A lot of hops. I think if you're a hop fan, someone who likes an IPA, but you're looking for something low, you're not trading
Yeah.
off much to get to this. It's pretty damn good. So yeah,
yeah.
3.5. Jason, I think you picked a winner. I don't think we would give it a deli. I think Ely would
No.
hate this beer
Yeah.
because of how much it toes the line of what an IPA should be. So he's not going to like that.
Yeah,
So I just can't, in good faith, give it the deli that Jason's looking for.
I mean, doesn't Ely have to be present to award that award?
No, if that was the case, we'd only be able to give out delis 50% of the time.
Yeah.
Because Ely,
Wait.
Ely's not here as often as I'd like. The motherfucker's on paternity leave.
Well, yeah, what, 12 weeks in a row? Go for it.
Yeah.
6 weeks, whatever.
Actually, we have no excuse. He should be here for those 6 weeks. Paternity leave starts next week for him.
All right, Ely. Game on.
He may already be on paternity leave because every time I see him, he's at the river.
Yeah.
Sorry. Didn't mean to say the R. The river. I've been trying to get to that life. I've been trying real hard. I honestly thought when I was one of these many times driving back from Charlotte, I've been stopping at Lake Gaston a ton.
Yeah.
Part of me wants a house in Lake Gaston. I've got this belief that I belong in a boat. I just believe it in my soul.
You feel it?
Don't have a boat. Had a canoe for a long time.
Oh, man.
Enjoyed that.
I've got 2 kayaks and a canoe. And the canoe's fine, but the kayaks are so much easier.
The kayak is nice. I'll give you that.
You get the seat, the ones with the seats and sitting up, it's all good. I mean,
take a backrest.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice.
Screw doing crunches the entire time.
And God forbid you get in shape. You got your 55th high school reunion coming up. You don't want to look like the oddball.
Yeah. Wait, no, I don't. I got I don't know what I got coming up.
It's 63rd.
63rd. 30? No. 25, maybe.
You're old man, Stu. But so I was certain. I was like, I've been looking forever. You know this.
Yep.
You've actually helped me with some of this, and
I think you'll find it.
I've been looking forever, but I'm the typical worst case scenario for a real estate agent, because I'm like, hey, you know what I got? Very little money. You know what I want? All the stuff.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sure you deal with this all the time.
You have to circle talk yourself and get to the real point. What you want to buy? What do you want to buy? What is it really think? Yeah, I want the house. I want the lot. I want the boat dock. And if it came with a boat, that'd even be better. Can you find me a house with a boat?
Yes, and I want to pay $34.
Yeah, it'll be.
So I've been a bit of a problem to my agent, but then all of a sudden he found one.
I think he called me the other day and said he's keeping his referral fee.
Yeah, I believe it. He is earning his money. So all of a sudden this one pops up, and I'm like, holy shit. It's underpriced. It's got everything. It's the perfect lake house. It's got the boathouse. It's got the deck on top of the boathouse. I was like, this is amazing. And I've looked at a bunch of places, and every time
was this beachfront or was it a hill?
Oh,
not beachfront, but it was level or was it a hill?
The name of the street is Cliffside Drive.
So
they didn't just pull that name out of a hat. I can assure you of this. This house was on a cliff,
and real kid friendly,
dude. It's kid friendly for Casey Anthony. It's not like very kid friendly for like anyone who wants their kid.
Anybody seen the kids?
Yeah,
no.
It was a bit rough, but what cliffside living gives you is a hell of a view. But
True.
Honestly, when I was there, like, it felt very Last of the Mohicans.
Okay.
Like, there were some points where I was like, whoa, I'm on a ledge.
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing.
Not good.
And I've been looking at these houses, and I don't know what midgets are building these homes, but I'm walking into these things, and, like, the ceiling is 3 inches above my head.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like, you gotta dodge and duck around light fixtures and stuff, and I'm just like, this price point is not working for what I want. Like, it's just not here.
How old was the house?
87.
No, it's crazy. Some of you walk into some of these houses and you're like, just everybody was shorter or smaller back then.
Yeah, but it's not even a
not
valid
that old.
excuse.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, so I've been looking at all these houses. They suck. I pull out to this house. I was like, oh my, I love it here. Granted, small house, but secluded as could be. I was blown away. I was like, this place is amazing. I look out over the deck. I'm like, yeah, that's a violent drop.
Yeah.
But I'm digging it. It's got stairs that just go down. Like, you're standing at the top, and it's like if you're in like a Subway, not a restaurant.
No, they're going down the sub.
Yeah.
Not a restaurant. Yeah.
And it just looks sketch. But I'm like,
the kids are waiting for you to build a slide.
So I walk down there, I'm looking at the dock, and I'm like, dude, this thing is sick. And the stairs were actually not that bad. 72 stairs, if I remember correctly.
72
from shore to door.
So what is it, like 3 stories, 4 stories up?
Yeah, probably. But I've seen worse. So I get down there and I'm like, this dock's amazing.
Yeah.
Everything's been power washed and like stained. It looks great. I go up on the top of the thing and I'm like, I could use a little bit of work up here on the deck, but the rest of the dock looks amazing. I'm interested. I go up. I walk in the house. Perfect. I couldn't believe it. House was good. Price was at the like low end of my budget. I was like, this is perfection.
And you pull the trigger.
No, because the schmuck that I am, I lowball from there. I'm at the low end of my budget, and I'm like,
right.
Yeah, we're gonna shave like everything off of that price. So I tell the guy, I'm like lowball. Even the realtor standing there, he's like, I'm shocked.
Right.
He's like, I'm shocked right now. He's like, you got to buy this house, and I'm like, you're telling me, like, I think I'm gonna do it. He's like, I'm not pushing you. He's like, if you don't buy it, I'm gonna buy this house. And I'm like, that's a little shady.
Maybe not.
Little shady, but he's like, no, seriously. He's like, this is
trying to get you to make a decision
at this price. Yeah, but he's never pushed me on any house. Like he and I walk around houses like, what a shithole. Like this is awful. Like we just point to mold, like, rats in the corner. Like he and I, we get along swimmingly. He's never pushed me. He's like, I don't even know why we're standing here and not buying this house. And I'm like, yeah, I feel you, but let me go home. I go home. The next morning I call him up. I'm like, we're putting it in.
Right.
And we're taking like 33% off the top. Like we're lowballing this thing. So
get him to play.
We put in the lowball offer, and that entire next night, there is visions of wakeboarding and wake surfing and like just drinking on the dock, dancing through my head. I'm having.
Your wife told me that night you were Griswolding the entire.
I certainly was.
She said he's got us out there doing all these things as a family, and it's already set.
I was Griswolded out. Like, this was going to be the perfect vacation.
Everything but Wally World.
Right.
Oh, trust me. You put like just
put the slide in.
Yeah, the stairs. I could have created Wally World. This thing was a cliff face, and when you got to the bottom, you could look up the cliff wall, which was intense looking, violently aggressive, and really cool. And I had like a landing down there with a fire pit. You could sit out there. I was like, I'm buying this horrible cliffside house. That whole night, I couldn't sleep. I was just like amped up.
Yeah.
Buying this house. The next morning, my phone rings. He's like, yeah, so they got your offer? Not only did they not counter,
that's what
they responded with one word. No. And I was like, yeah.
Well, that's everybody's experience it happens to every single one of my buyers or sellers is you get a contract and you put in a contract and let's say you give them 24 hours, 48 hours, make a decision, whatever it is. But I tell every single one, I'm like, and I'll usually like send them a nervous meme or something, say, yeah, we've submitted the contract. Now it's in the seller's hands to review it, and you're not going to sleep. You're not going to be able to do anything. Your brain is going to be racing, and you're just waiting for some response. It's the worst time frame ever. I mean, you might be fired up, but the waiting game is the worst.
Actually, it was a blast. Because I knew they couldn't resist my lowball offer. It hadn't occurred to me the answer would be no. I was like, they are going to love my shitty offer.
Didn't even play games.
They know how excited I am. They can see it in the way I e-signed my contract that I'm fired up. So, yeah, the answer was no. And a resounding no, a capital O as well. So
underscore upside down.
So my agent's like, so they didn't even counter. We have no idea where they are. He's like, you're going to have to come stronger. I'm like, ugh, okay. We're going to have to get up to the bottom of my budget. This is bullshit.
Get up to the bottom.
Yeah, I'm furious. All the way to the bottom.
Do you know how much I'm putting in on this?
Yeah.
I was like, this is crap, man.
So what was the end result?
So he calls me up. He goes, how high will you go? And I'm like, all right, here's where I think I'm going to go. And I'm like, but I definitely want to know more about the dock, like at the top, because now I'm trying to think like.
But you can always go get it inspected or have somebody who like just walk through ahead of time.
But I wanted to throw a couple things out there just to kind of keep in his mind, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, don't worry, we need a structural engineer to look at the foundation because it's on a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
that was important to
Yeah.
me.
And if you were in California, you'd immediately think of your house going down the cliffside.
Honestly, those
in a
thoughts
mudslide.
They're
thoughts danced in my head the night prior.
If
Like-
they're too close to the edge, then you won't get insurance.
Yeah, there were all these things. And technically it's a mobile home, but it did not look like a mobile home. And so he's like, we got to get someone under there, make sure it's not on wheels.
Yeah.
But
it's
I'm
gonna-
like, it's got a fucking foundation. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't have wheels. He's like, you'd be surprised.
what they can hide.
Yeah.
what you can hide.
So I was like, let's do that. And I was like, yeah, and let's find out about that dock. And I was like, and here's the new offer. And he's like, all right, we'll go for it. So
Did you pay somebody to go take a look at the stuff?
no, so he's asking the real estate agent about it. And she's like, oh, Mark checked out the dock. And he's like, hey, I'm friends with Mark.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to holler at Mark.
Yeah,
He's
because
gonna-
the agent down there has been there forever. He's grew up down there, right?
Since he was 12.
Yeah, so he knows everybody.
Oh, yeah, I got the right agent.
Yeah.
The dude, he has not left the
There you
lake.
go.
You know what I mean? Like, he's been there forever. So he's like, oh, man, I know Mark. Let me holler at Mark. I'll just see what the deal is. We can go around the agent. We'll just figure
Yeah.
this out. So he hollers at Mark, and I guess Mark's response was basically like, no.
No
Run
way.
away.
Stay-
Run away.
Stay away.
And he's talking about the dock, right?
The dock.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
he says, the 72 stairs? Yeah, at any given moment, you're going to have 0 stairs. Because
Oh.
so they had power
man.
washed everything.
Lipstick
and
on
then stained
a
it.
lipstick,
Lipstick on a pig.
Lipstick on a
And
pig.
it looked fantastic. So I'm psyched, I'm like, this is amazing. It's in great shape. And he's like, yeah, all the structure underneath that, he's like, that's rotting out.
Trash.
Like, that's going to go. He goes, that's got maybe 2 years. And then he's like, yeah, the dock, he's like, don't go up on the deck part. I don't know how stable that is. And he's like, and, if your buyer doesn't have a big boat, then, maybe they could lift it out of the water. And I'm like, yo, I don't like the sound of you can't lift a big boat out of the water in your boat lift.
But everything you're telling me justifies your low offer.
Oh, now it looks like I had foresight.
Yeah, and that
No.
they should come to the table and be like, we're going to fix all of these things.
Dude, if they had fixed it, the quote I was given was like it was $50,000 to fix the boathouse and the stairs.
So
And that's just like
just a rough.
Mark's
Yeah.
rough estimate. That doesn't include God knows what else. And when you're dealing with numbers like I'm dealing, you add 50,000. It's a substantial increase in price.
We just blew my budget.
Yeah, I was like, "Yo, dude, my lowball offer was way high, way high." So I had a one-night stand with the lake house, and it felt oh so good for 24
Short-lived.
hours.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, I was like, "Is that an Adam's apple scar?"
Yeah, you saw
Yeah,
without,
you-
you saw without the makeup on in
Yeah.
the morning light.
I clearly did.
So the search continues.
Yeah, so my agent was like, I didn't put in that second offer because I wanted to talk to Mark. He's like,
Good thing.
we're not putting in that second offer. And I was like, still like part of me is like, but I really like her.
Oh.
Like I was like, well, like in your professional opinion, I mean, like what's the move here? Like, should we go low? He's like, dude, you walk away.
Yeah.
Like get away fast. Like now.
There's no upside,
Yeah. Like
regardless,
no, he was like this
because
is
they're not going to let it go, and you can't put into it what it needs.
That's right. Worst one night stand
There
ever.
you go.
They're not going to leave, and you can't put in what
Exactly.
it needs. So,
Take that.
so
That's
I walked away. So my lake
Damn.
house dreams that I've had for years came to an amazing crescendo for one 24-hour period, and then
All gone.
Then I finished, and clarity crept in. And I
that
walked
is a
away.
one night stand.
It literally was a one night stand.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing ever.
These dreams will return.
They will. They will. I just. I felt it, like I was that close.
Yeah.
I was that close, and I never.
Yeah.
I mean, I put a contract down.
You're wiser now. Right?
Yeah.
I've learned
Sadder,
to ask.
wiser.
I've learned to ask more questions.
Take somebody who knows their stuff about the docks and the infrastructure more often. But yeah, speaking of dreams, not necessarily that it's a dream, but I am headed to California for the first time.
You never been out
You
west?
never been?
No,
Man.
I've been to Chicago and I've been to Houston, and that's as far west.
Okay, so
Never
what part
re-
of California?
I'm going to Anaheim for a convention.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But
Orange County.
yeah, so I'm
You got
there.
the whole state of California. And
I'm
you
there
guys
for
Anaheim.
Yeah, I'm there for 5 days, and then I'm gonna. But I extended because rented a car. And I'm gonna go for a drive. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be one of those. I don't know what to expect. So flying out there, gonna take in the LA sites, I guess, and the Anaheim sites. Maybe catch a game. I know that the Angels are playing, so that would be something I wouldn't mind doing. But have you had the chance to go out there often, or how long were you guys out there?
Oh, I've been there a few times. Southern California. I mean, there are a lot of fun. There are a lot of fun things to see. You can go to Santa Monica, look at the pier, go to Venice Beach, look at the freaks.
Look at the freaks.
Yeah, and just go up on the Angeles Crest and Mulholland Canyon Drive if you just want a great drive.
Yeah, speaking of the drive,
You're going to see some cliffs.
Yeah,
You're
I see some cliffs, but I snagged a little the brand new Fiat. What is it? The Spider, as a rental, and I used that
I want
new website. That was pretty good.
I want to let you know a little secret
It's not a Fiat.
about the Fiat Spider.
Mm-hmm.
Little known secret. That's a Miata.
It's a Miata.
That's all right. That's better because I remember the original Fiat Spider back in the '60s. Oh, it was the prettiest damn little thing you saw, and man,
Piece of shit, right?
oh, absolutely. Fiat. Fix
Yeah.
it again, Tony. That's what it
Fix
means.
it again, Tony.
Fix it again, Tony. Fiat.
Wait, hold on, Tony. That's racist. It just came together.
Yeah. No.
That's racist. Fix it again, Todd. See, not
No.
racist.
Fix
They're
it
made in Italy. Sorry. Continue.
Tony.
Fix it again, Todd.
Fix it again, Todd.
I won't say Tony. Not the T word.
So, I'm looking forward to actually driving to. One, it's a stick shift.
Yeah.
So
You don't get those much anymore.
no.
Unless you rent a car in Europe, then you pretty much can't avoid them, even now.
I don't know. It'll be. I'm excited to drive it. I know that it's going to be a fun little excursion. But my biggest fear is I'm going to be in a car that I'm actually too big for.
No. The Miata is actually well designed. It's built for this. Now you may be a little. What are you, 6'2"?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be an inch taller than you should be, but
That's
I
all
think
right.
you'll be plenty fine. Little known fact:
Well, the
Miata's
seat
got more
goes-
leg room than any other roadster in his class.
Though
Any
the
other-
seat goes way back, right?
I
Goes
guess.
all the way
Because there's
back.
no back seat to get in your way.
No. But yeah, it'll be a fun. That'll be a fun little trip, and then I'm doing another trip in October, headed to Nashville.
Hold on, before we just leave
Sorry,
this,
what's going on?
how'd you rent this car?
Oh, so Turo is who. So I started looking at, everything's more expensive, I guess, obviously in California, and started looking at rentals. If I'm going out there, going to go drive, definitely going to get a convertible. Well, hell, the average price out there for a convertible for the week was like $1,000 to $1,200 if you're looking at
Like through
convertibles.
Hertz or any
Hertz,
of these names?
Avis. I mean,
Yeah.
I've used my National Associate, my NAR discount through Avis, and it was, a Mustang, and it was still like $850. So
So you use Toro. Now, isn't this like the
this
ride
is
share for rental cars? Like
I
this
get-
is somebody's car, right?
Yeah, this is somebody's car. So actually, I went through Expedia, and there was an option that said, like, Turo had an ad. Like, there was Turo, and then there was, like, Avis and the actual cars and all this other stuff. And I just clicked on the link, and next thing I know, boom, like, every single convertible you would want to drive.
So you're literally going. I'm
I'm flying into LAX. I'm flying into LAX.
Yep.
The guy that owns this Fiat, either him or quote unquote a hostess, will be delivering the car to the airport for me.
Shut the fuck up.
So-
So this is a
I clicked on like
personal vehicle. This guy owns this car.
personal vehicle.
He
Yeah.
drives it around 50% of the time.
Yep.
And then he rents it out the
Wouldn't
other
that scare the
50%.
hell out of you, though, if
Well, so they have
Absolutely. That's like-
somebody's taking your car?
Talk
so
about
all these
indecent
guys,
proposal. Hey,
Yeah.
you mind if I take your wife out just, for dinner and a movie and I'll
Yeah.
return her in the morning?
How about your
You know what,
spiffy little
though?
car with the stick
Yeah,
shift?
this is
It's exactly
horrible.
like people who own RV trailers and don't rent them out when they don't use them.
Yeah, but
These people are buying cars for the specific purpose
Rental
of like
cars
letting
get
it be.
thrashed.
Yeah, that's what P.G. O'Rourke said. He said, "What is the fastest, most maneuverable car made? A rental car."
A rental car.
Well, yeah.
That's right. It is a fact because
Well, they had
destroy a rental car.
they had all the reviews. Like everybody, like, and you have to like one. It was a lot more information I had to give about myself to rent the car.
As well they should.
Yeah, but I mean, it was half the cost.
Did they want your driving record?
No, they want. I mean, they had. I had to give my driver's license number. I had to. I think that the catch is that the owner of the car, they get a little bit of money, but then Turo makes their money by charging. You have to select a coverage. So I paid $8 a day insurance coverage, which is not much, but I mean, I still saved $500 versus Hertz, Avis, or Enterprise for the same car.
This is amazing to me. So you're
But
going
you
to
go on
have
there.
car.
There are crazy cars. I could get the $400 a day Lamborghini. I could get you can get anything. I mean,
Seriously.
yeah. Porsche Boxster was $150. I almost pulled the Boxster, but I couldn't justify $100 a day.
They replaced the IMS bearing. Long
Yeah.
story.
But how much, as an
That's why
owner
you
of the
buy
car,
more.
how much money is in that for you? I mean, if I was going to let somebody else drive my hot car, I'd want to make enough money to cover the car payment or the insurance or something.
Okay, so
At
this
a
guy's
minimum.
gonna make
Yeah.
$500 in 7 days. Now, what all he has to give to Turo as a
Well, that's more than his payment.
easily. I mean, it's five. I mean,
Yeah, well,
Oh, this is interesting.
it's timeshare or what?
I've got
It's like
3 fucking cars sitting in my driveway. Well, the only one I'll rent out's the 4Runner.
yeah.
Right.
Everybody wants that one, though.
But if you got
Actually,
somebody
that
who wants,
thing's bitching.
if you got
I
somebody who
know
wants
it
to go
is.
down to the river or go down to like go up in the woods, go camping, whatever,
Yeah.
rent your
Take the
4Runner out.
4Runner, yeah. That's a fun vehicle. Because it
Ooh.
reminds me of those I
And
told
any-
you, those 6-pack Dodge trucks I used to drive on Okinawa, the Air Force trucks.
Oh, it's very much a military truck. It's
Just
rudimentary.
reminds me of those.
And
Yeah.
it's perfect because any damage ups the value.
Well,
Yeah, sure.
and I've been steadily adding value to that truck for years.
Gives it character.
No, I mean not to give them a
want.
plug, but I mean if you're looking for a rental car and you want to not deal with like all the hassle, I mean I clicked in free delivery portions, I clicked in 1,200 miles. I mean it was awesome.
Well, not to burst your bubble here, but I'm really looking for the review after you return. This review, see what you are right now, is me with my lake house.
Yeah.
Going to bed at night, clapping my hands, dancing, Griswolding around with my wife. Like, should it be a jet boat or an outboard? I mean, I haven't even decided. I don't know. What kind of boat is it?
I mean, but there's so they even review them like all-star review. Like some of the cars owners are all-star reviews, meaning they've rented it more than 120 something times. Everybody rates. It's like a whole rating system.
And they actually deliver it to you? Is there a
well,
fee
you
for
had
that?
to like there was an option. No, it was free delivery. Like I sorted through cars that would be delivered. I didn't want to have to go to some guy's house to get the car.
Because I'm going to Seattle in a few months,
Check it out.
and I'm going to rent a car because this Seattle trip is going to the place I'm going is 2 hours or some shit, or at least an hour from Seattle, from the airport. So
Oh, okay.
I have to get a car,
Yeah.
and I was going to just go to Hertz.
I mean, there
But
was.
I've already squashed the Sentra bug. I've already done it.
Yeah, you've tackled that.
Yeah, I need something new.
No, I mean there are cars like there was a guy who had his like I sorted by price point. It was like $38 a day of some guy's 2011 3 Series with like 100,000 miles on it, rented for $38 a day.
Oh, I know what I want.
But I'm just saying.
I want a Land Rover.
Yeah, you
If I don't have to pay for the maintenance, I want British. I don't want to
There you
own
go.
a British car.
Yeah.
They're the worst.
This guy who took us up on the glacier in Iceland, he had a Land Rover was the company,
Yeah.
the tour company provided those, but he owned one himself, and he said that was not going well at all.
No, it's
You
the
know.
worst vehicle in the world.
But in Reykjavik, I sent you a picture. There was an
It
old,
looked amazing.
there was an old 4Runner down in Reykjavik.
Yeah,
So somebody's banging around Iceland in one of those.
that's the perfect car. No, Land Rovers, we talked about this
Yeah.
years ago. Land Rovers are the strippers of cars. A lot of fun in small doses,
Yeah.
but don't get all tied up for life with a stripper. It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Land Rovers are the same way. The maintenance is going to blow your
Yeah.
mind.
No, it's like the stripper rips you off for cocaine all the time.
Yeah, that's what the Land Rover does.
And the Land Rover, it's maintenance.
It's like, oh, fuel pumps out. Got a little coke stuck in
That
there.
was the same thing with my BMW. As soon as they hit 100,000 miles, kaboom. done.
Yeah.
Start dropping dollars into them like crazy.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's why I'm going to rent one from Turo.
There you
Oh,
go.
man, they had a Ferrari.
Sounds like fun.
could-
That'll be a good car.
I think I want to hear this review. When do you go?
So I'm leaving in 10 days.
Perfect. You will have plenty of time to tell me how this really goes.
Yeah.
If you don't come back because
I
someone
mean,
sold your kidneys.
I don't know if I can complain yet because it's a 2018 with 18,000 miles on it.
Oh, it's a Miata. It's beautiful. It'll
It'll be nice.
It
Sit
hasn't
in
been used
sit in
yet.
the traffic jam on the Santa Monica Freeway. See if it overheats. That's your big test.
See if I overheat.
That's the
See if
land.
you overheat. Oh yeah, they have air conditioning on these, I guess.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, in
Wheel.
in his, mine. That's an option I didn't go for. Yeah, his is beautiful. I mean, it literally is the Miata, and all they did is they put a little turbo on it.
And what's that? What's the name they call it? Abarth or?
Yeah, the Abarth.
Yeah, that's the version.
Yeah, which is their sportiest version.
Oh yeah, I've heard of the Abarth. Yeah, those are cool.
It's a mean little vehicle. So basically, all they did is take the Miata, they changed the front end a little,
Mm-hmm.
made it look just gorgeous. I mean, they did everything that Fiat should have done, made it a better looking car, and then they put a turbo on it. And that way it performs a little different. The problem with them is they didn't sell it all. The slightly less horsepower Miata sells like crazy, and for some reason people aren't buying these, and those things are gorgeous. That Fiat Spider is gorgeous.
Well, they
only
put
reason-
the Fiat badge on it.
Yeah.
That'll
That
scare a lot of people away.
But it's mechanically speaking, it's a Miata.
Same.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I just happen to see a whole lot of marketing lately for the new 2019 Fiat Spider. Like, it's been out. Like, I just see it.
Oh, you've got the perfect car. You're gonna have a blast going up and down those highways. It's
Yeah,
it's
so
gonna
that's
be
my.
cool.
I extended my stay by 3.5 days so that I can go like.
And do you even have a
Big
destination? Or
Big
you just
Sur,
going?
like
You're just going.
I'm gonna go north.
That's gonna be a blast, man. Good
So-
for you. I hope
Yeah.
this works.
Get on the Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah, that's what the
Just
plan
get on
was.
just get on the PCH and go. It's beautiful.
PCH.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you better start saying
PCH, man.
Yeah,
PCH. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't want to look like a. Well, and that's the other
Stay
thing.
off the 405,
That's the.
bro.
I'll
Yeah,
I'll
you
tell
know,
you this.
the Californians on
Hey,
SNL.
man.
You know,
Stuart.
Oh.
Stuart.
Santa Monica Freeway doesn't go to
Doesn't go.
the Slauson cutoff.
No, but here's the.
What?
So that's the other thing, though, that
Da-da-da-da.
that renting the car. He just okay for everybody at home. Brendan just spit his beer all over the board.
You know that guitar riff they do? I think that's from Ventura
That's what you just
Ventura
did.
Highway.
Yeah, it is.
Ba-da-da-ba-da-da.
I got fucking Miller Lite in my sinuses.
You see the little white wine on the image there.
All cleared up.
That's Ventura Highway riff.
What are you talking about, Stuart?
Oh my god. No, but the other thing about renting the car though is it doesn't have any of those stickers or badges or dealing with those keys that says I'm a rental.
Yeah,
It's got the California tag. I mean,
Yeah,
you
that's
don't look
good.
like you're the tourist.
if you honestly have a good experience, this is what I'm going to do in Seattle, and I'm getting
I'll
excited.
get it.
But I
I'll
am
let you
getting
know.
a mean SUV. Like
There's
I want something.
there's no exit there from the 101, man.
You can't get there.
Ventura Highway.
Oh my God,
Great SNL skit.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Stuart. Well, good
What do you
for you.
mean?
So Turo. And did you drop ITPH in the coupon code?
Yeah, I did, and it raised it by $3.
That's a problem.
No,
That's a problem.
we'll get them. I'll give them some stickers.
The other night I had a great experience. So everybody who listens to the podcast regularly knows that we're sponsored by Nectar Sunglasses, and you can go over to nectarsunglasses.com and drop ITPH in the coupon code, and you're going to get 30% off. And it's probably the best deal in sunglasses going in.
I just bought my nectars. I bought 3 pair. Got
3 pair.
two pairs. Third one was free. Dropped the code. Saved like $50 some.
It worked on top of the already sale.
Yeah, so
I
it was
love
if I bought 2 glasses, then I got the third set free, which was their standard set. Saved so my out the door cost was $50, $90 actually
For 3 pairs of
for
glasses.
3 pairs of glasses.
Boom.
I'm going
Awesome.
to wear them to my 56th reunion because I know
Oh,
my
cool.
girlfriend's going to remember me. You know,
That's
the
dude.
girlfriend.
I'll look so cool.
telling you.
Dude, I got to figure out this thing.
This is great.
So, I the other day I had a listener call me up, and he's like, dude, your coupon code doesn't work, which is crazy because the day prior, a listener had reached out and was like, oh, my God, I got the best deal ever with the coupon code. And then someone reached out, and they're like, it doesn't work. I hit Sean up on text. I'm not kidding. Within 2 minutes, the code was reinstated. I texted the guy back. Boom. It worked. I was like,
nice.
That was awesome. Like, that's customer service I don't deserve. I'll take it.
Ah, good on Sean. Good on them. Good on
Very
Nectar.
nice.
That's the stuff.
Excellent. I've been getting a ton of feedback from the episode we did down in Folly.
Yeah, that was good.
guess
That was good.
None of you guys were there. I don't know.
No,
But,
we listened.
yeah, people were loving it. People were loving it, man. Well, I'm excited to hear about your Turo experience. You should have rented a car from Turo that was from that area. It would have been about 50 pounds heavier than the car should have been, but it would have known to stay off the golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have rented a driver, with it. Somebody who knew his way around that thing. One of the locals.
It would have been a better plan if you could have peeled them away from the buffet.
Yeah, the pilot boat captains when you come into the big freighters when they come in, the pilot, what do they call it? They call them the pilot.
Captain?
Well, the
Yeah.
pilot captains, I guess.
Yeah.
The local driver. There's a whole new business.
You were in the fucking Navy.
We didn't use pilots.
He can't come up with it's the captain, man.
No, but the pilots, the guys that are local.
Yeah, the harbor pilot.
The harbor, thank you very much. The harbor pilot.
You take the harbor pilot on board,
Yeah,
and then
they
he's
bring
in
him in.
command of your ship
Yeah.
until you dock. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have those, though, because they wouldn't let them drive the carrier.
Well, I can understand that. That is a slightly larger boat.
Yeah.
No,
I was just saying that's a whole but that's your job now. You can be a local pilot and drive people around.
This is going great. If I can get the fucking soundboard to work, I would have just hit the drop.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not how that works right now. Nah, so that's I'm excited to hear about this, man. So, Dad, thank you so much for sitting in with us tonight.
Hey, it's a pleasure.
That's awesome.
We're going to make a date after my 56th. You're going to find out how I'm doing.
Oh,
with,
no.
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 No?
How the
No.
girl?
What, am I back on probation? What the hell?
How I need to describe this to you blows my mind.
Yeah.
You have much more knowledge of how this relationship works.
No, I'm not talking about that young lady. I'm talking about the buffet and the bar.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
And keeping off the golf cart path.
It would be good. You're gonna use the Turo app. You're gonna be set.
No, that lady, she's 73 now. Next reunion, she's going to be 74. I think we're all safe here.
I think so. They start coming more frequently, though. The reunions.
Yeah, we're going to have
Instead
to
of
have
having one every year.
They started having 6-month reunions.
Yeah, we're going to have to do something because they're dropping like flies.
It's tough out there.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you you stopping by and doing the podcast tonight because that deadbeat Troy didn't show up. And Healy's on paternity
Yeah,
leave.
Healy's on paternity leave.
Yeah, how about that?
He's got no excuses.
Oh, he's got the excuse. That's for sure.
One
So-
that trumps all of them.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be here next week, and we were glad you're here this week. We hope you're here then. Go ahead and sign up your neighbor, your suite mate, your cubicle buddy, whoever it may be, your next door neighbor. Pull the old Cincinnati swap. Sign them up for the podcast. It's real easy. Just grab their app, go search it, subscribe. Be great. Or you can always reach out to us on insidethepallethouse@gmail.com. We'd love to hear what topics you want us to talk about. Or you could even find us over on Facebook or even Instagram or any number. Boy, that didn't work. This soundboard is trash.
Uh-oh.
There it goes. Wow. I'm producing like
You're-
a madman today. Sweet
Yeah.
Jesus.
Peace out.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
I feel threatened.
The last thing you do is That was a really good podcast, don't you think?